Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I'm having such a great day today. I went and got my coffee. It's kind of a rainy day. We've had like 3 or 4 rainy days in Indianapolis, but it's so nice, the weather, the temperature, outside, that I don't really mind it. And last night, it was like thunderstorms galore, and it was really nice to sleep to. So, but I'm ready for some sunny days. The dark days kind of get me down a little bit, you know, and even in the summer in Indianapolis, we have a lot of rainy days. You know, it's very, like, what was the word I'm looking for? It's like very humid here. We get a lot of rain and a lot of summer storms, and I don't mind it, but it'd be nice if we had a couple of sunny days too, you know, to kind of cheer you up. So I thought, why not some meditation? So let's go in to the Daily Book of Positive Quotations. It's going to be the first thing I read today. I feel like this is kind of like off center a little bit there. I feel better. Okay. May 18th. Let's see what everybody has to say today. Well, I guess what the book says to us. Will the universe speak to us today by the 3 books that I brought? We'll see. May 18th. Moderation. Moderation. Small helpings. Sample a little bit of everything. Wait. May 18th. Moderation. Moderation. Small helpings. Sample. I can't start this. I don't know why. Moderation. Laughter is so good, isn't it? Like, I've been laughing all day, but I find myself getting the giggles, you know? And when you get the giggles, you just can't stop over the silliest things. And I sang this song in my vlog last night, the Queen song, Somebody to Love. And I've had that song stuck in my head, literally, that one line on repeat. Does that ever happen to you? Okay. Somebody to love. May 18th, moderation. Moderation. Small helpings. Sample a little bit of everything. These are the secrets of happiness and good health. Julia Child. We can indulge ourselves, enjoy the things we really like, the best chocolate, a perfect steak, and still exercise moderation. 1 bite of the best chocolate tastes much better than a pound of ordinary chocolate. And I don't know about all that. Oh my Lord. In fact, it tastes better than a pound of any kind of chocolate. Too much and we feel a little ill. I think I did this meditation last year because I am somebody that is such a like quantity food eater over quality, but that's because I'm a food addict. But in fact, it tastes better than a pound of any kind of chocolate. Too much and we feel a little ill and angry with ourselves. 1 bite, slowly melting on the tongue, and we enjoy every moment of it. The idea of moderation as a principle for a happy life is an ancient philosophy, but it still makes sense. I don't have to deprive myself. I shouldn't deprive myself. I can enjoy my favorite things as long as I do so with moderation. Okay, like, you know, as a person in recovery, as an addict and alcoholic, I obviously have no sense of moderation whatsoever. Like, that word doesn't even mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm either all in or all out. Like, that's kind of how I'm just, like, programmed to be. So I have to be very careful of stuff, you know? I literally can sit here and eat an entire bag of Lay's chips, an entire container of onion dip in one setting and not feel bad about it, like the book suggests, and not feel ill or whatever. Maybe the next morning I will. I don't know why this is so funny to me. It's just because it's something that I do so truly struggle with. But at the same time, when people are like, you know, like, I always tell this story that for my mom's 60th birthday, we all went to Chicago, and it was my ex and I, my mom, my aunt, and my cousin, right? And this one time we were in this cab. I think we were going to the Crate and Barrel, like, outlet, and my cousin wanted to go, and it was, like, in Lincoln Park. And so we're all in this cab, and I had bought these Frango mints. And, so I opened Frango mints from, like, Marshall Fields. They're, like, my favorite in the entire world. And I used to get them when I was a little kid. We would go up there and stay in this hotel, my dad and I, and my stepmom, and they would put them on your pillow at night when you went to bed. So, like, you get turned down service, and these Frango mints will be on your pillow, and so I love them, right? And I would always buy them for people for Christmas, and my mom did as well. So I got a box, and I said, does anybody want a Frango mint? And everybody wanted one, right? So, like, 10 minutes go by. Now, the Frango mints are, like, this big. About 10 minutes go by, and I said, does anybody want another one? And my cousin Caroline was sitting in the front seat because there was too many people in the back. And she goes, I'll have another one. And my aunt goes, we have each had one, and one is enough for everyone. So I don't really understand the concept of moderation. I struggle with it. And when people are like, yeah, like, just, you know, like, I think you have to be a very well controlled soul to really be able to moderate things. Do I think that maybe I would enjoy life more if I was, you know, could, you know, do things in moderation? Oh, absolutely. I absolutely 100% believe that I would enjoy it more. But that's not my life. So anyway, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. We'll work on that when I get that bag of Lay's tonight. Okay. May 18th, we're going to go into the A Time to Be Free, Daily Meditations for Enhancing Self-Esteem. I love this book. This book my dad and my stepmom gave me. Yep, they said, Pete, welcome back. We love you. This was when I first got out of treatment. So May 18th. The practice of prayer and meditation has become a vital part of our lives. Without it, we would feel lost and empty. Yet, ironically, when we first considered trying prayer and meditation, many of us were reluctant to begin. Most often, it was fear that held us back. What we were afraid of. Because of our low self-esteem, we were afraid that God wouldn't want to be bothered by us. Because we lacked experience, we were afraid that we wouldn't want to do it right, or we wouldn't do it right. Because we lacked experience, we were afraid that we wouldn't do it right. Because of our difficulty in dealing with emotions, we were afraid to become vulnerable. Because of our upbringing, we were afraid of God himself. However, since we couldn't long ignore the evidence of God's power in our lives and the lives of others, we eventually overcame our reluctance. We tentatively reached out to God and our fears soon disappeared. Prayer and meditation is an entirely personal and individual process. That was one of our most important discoveries. We need not be concerned about using the right methods, words, or format. God already knows what is in our hearts and minds. He understands us better than we understand ourselves. Thought for today, when I pray, I only need to be honest and Thought for today, when I pray, I only need an honest and open heart. Interesting meditation, you know. When I got sober and I came into a 12-step program, if they had told me that I had to believe in a specific God, I would not be here today. I was always somebody that questioned a lot. I was always somebody that, trusted authority. I always wanted to know, like this, that. And I actually, when I got sober, the third step is made a decision to turn our life and our will over to the care of God as we understood him. And so at that point, my sponsor said to me, because there's a line in the basic text that says God either is or he isn't. And I'm not even sure if I believe that God is a he today, And I'm allowed to believe whatever I want to believe, and you're allowed to believe whatever you're wanting to believe, and you're allowed to believe in nothing if you want to, And believing in nothing is believing in something at the same time. But at about 2 years sober, I went on this super long spiritual journey, and I read a lot about Christianity, about Judaism, about Buddhism, about Hinduism, about Native American wisdom, about Kabbalism. I read so many things out there, different world religions. I took a lot of what I liked and I left the rest. I use the word God today as my higher power just because it's easiest for me, but I don't mean any specific God. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a believer, like they say. It's a recovery saying that religion is for people that are afraid to go to hell, and spirituality is for people that have already been there. That being said, I've known a lot of people that have very strong faith and are very religious, and that works for them. My mother was one of them. And, I never, take that away from somebody as long as I feel like it's a positive thing in their life, I'm really encouraging of that. I'm really supportive of that. I think that it's a very personal thing. I think religion and spirituality is very personal. And over here, and on my channels, I like people to be able to have and believe in whatever they want to believe in. I think it would probably surprise you guys if you really knew truly the spiritual language that I spoke and how spiritual I really am. Like with my friend Tanya, we talk all the time about God moments and God is in this, and I think that God put this in my life for this reason. And I use the language of God a lot in my life, my understanding of my higher power, which I feel like is specific to me individually. And I think it would surprise you because my husband's an atheist and he doesn't believe in anything, and it has never been an issue with us. And he's very protective and supportive of my belief systems. In fact, he'll say things like, have you prayed on that? Or what? If I'm upset about something, he'll say, have you prayed on it? And just because he doesn't believe in it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for me. And that's okay, right? Hey, honey. Tucker just came to visit. And it's all very personal and individual to all of us. And each of us have a right to believe that, He's scratching my arm. You're such a good boy. But, the thing is, where it says in here, the practice of prayer and meditation has become a vital part of our lives. Without it, we would feel lost and empty. Yet, ironically, when we first considered trying prayer and meditation, many of us were reluctant to begin. Most often, it was a fear that held us back. If somebody had told me I had to believe a certain thing, I wouldn't be here today because I didn't like to be forced into believing anything that I didn't. The other thing was that, I grew up going to church. I didn't have any negative experiences with the church. I went to a great church, very liberal church, and that was, just very supportive of me and my family. And but I never internalized any belief in a higher power or any belief in something spiritual. So when I got sober and I saw all these people around me talking about we're all miracles and this is the God moment and God is in this and whatever, like I wanted that to mean something to me. I wanted to feel it on an internal level. But that is a personal thing. Like you cannot share you cannot share your spiritual axiom or experience with somebody else. You can't force that upon somebody else. Like you have to have that for yourself. First, you have to be open to that. I wasn't open to that. I wasn't open to having spiritual experiences in my life. But then when I started looking, I was like, wow, I do have some spiritual experiences in my life, many of which I've shared in my videos on here and on my vlog, but many of which I've never talked about because they're very, very personal to me, you know? But that journey for me of being able to pray, and today my prayer is, I do a lot of like organized prayers, and I also do a lot of just conscious conversations with my higher power and just talking to God sometimes, you know, and I do, you know, affirmation lists and gratitude lists and all of that stuff, and I say, you know, a lot of my affirmations, like I say at the end of my vlogs, are today is going to be an amazing day full of opportunities and positivity and things like that. But, you know, I always feel like I'm talking to my higher power, and I always feel like my higher power is near me, you know, and, but that didn't happen overnight. Like, that was something that took me a while. And, you know, I always think about this when it comes to spirituality. It was like for so many years, I was willing to put things into my body, drugs and alcohol, you know, and just trust the process that A, I wasn't going to die, and B, that it was going to give me some kind of euphoric, you know, response, or C, that it was going to make me, on some level, feel something, let's just be honest, some kind of spiritual reaction to the world. You know, I was going to feel high. You know what I mean? But I wasn't willing to, in any way, kind of grasp any kind of spiritual belief whatsoever, even the slightest. I was like, you're Bible thumpers, don't come for me, you know? The reality is, when I opened my mind, there's a lot out there. You know, what I started seeing is I started reading a lot about world religions, and I am very well read when it comes to world religions. And I don't say that like pat my back. I just say that because I want people to know I'm not speaking out of ignorance. You know, I've read a lot about Islam. I've read about all kinds of world religions, you know, because I really wanted to know. And one of the things I find that's consistent between many of them is the idea of love and compassion and kindness and being a better version of ourselves on a daily basis. And really this intention, this living with intention of being a good person. You don't have to be a religious person. You don't have to be a spiritual person. You don't have to be in recovery. You don't have to do anything to want to be a better version of yourself every single day. I have to show you guys this. The cardinal just landed out there as I'm speaking about this. Do you see? She just flew away. Anyway, I love my little cardinal out there in my back patio. I got some corn seed, and she comes to visit, like every single, she or he, I don't know. But anyway, you know, like I was saying, like, you don't have to be a religious person or a spiritual person. You don't have to believe in anything, right? And my husband and I have had many conversations about this. He's like, every day that I wake up, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday, but I don't have to believe in something for that. It doesn't have to be a spiritual thing, but it can be as well. It can be. It can be a religious thing, you know? And I think that there is a world where we can all exist together. People that are religious, people that are spiritual, people that don't believe in anything. And you know, it's that whole idea of that coexist. And I believe in that. I believe that there's a world where we can all believe in that. And maybe we all just kind of focus on being better people, being good people, being loving people, being kind people. And that's what I aim for today. This is a great meditation. I loved this. And I think on that, I will end. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.